Good morning, everyone. My name is Tiziana Rivera. I'm the Executive Vice President for Quality Research and Chief Nursing Executive at Osler. Thank you all for being here this morning on a very special day as we celebrate research, innovation, and the tremendous contributions of our team, our communities, and all those who make it possible for us to transform community health through science and research. To begin our time together, I would like to welcome Esha Dhillon to give the land acknowledgement. Esha is a member of our community-based Research Advisory Committee. She's a dynamic and award-winning 20-year-old innovator and businesswoman and a member of our local community. Esha?
First of all, thank you for that flattering introduction. I'll start off with the land acknowledgement, and I'm super excited to be here, so thank you everybody for coming. Indigenous peoples are the original caretakers of this land, now known as Peel and Etobicoke, for the last 10,000 years. This is the ancestral territory of the Huendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Much of Osler's work takes place in the traditional territory and treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. As visitors in this territory, we at Osler would like to express our gratitude to the Mississauga people of the New Credit First Nation, the descendants of the Credit First Nation. Osler would like to also respectfully acknowledge the diverse community of Indigenous peoples representing a multitude of distinct nations who currently live, work, and play in this territory. We would like to express our commitment to honoring Indigenous communities and nations across the territories now known as Canada. Thank you.
Thank you, Esha. Now I'm pleased to introduce Dakota Recollet, Indigenous Cultural Safety Director at the Indigenous Primary Healthcare Council. The Council is an Indigenous-governed, culture-based, and Indigenous-informed organization dedicated to advancing and evolving Indigenous primary healthcare services across Ontario. Dakota?
A little short, so Ani Bojo, Dakota Recollet, Indigenous Cause. I just want to say thank you so much for inviting us here to speak. As mentioned, I'm the director of our Indigenous Cultural Safety with the Indigenous Primary Healthcare Council, so I will be just providing some remarks on behalf of our organization and our communities at WIDE today. So I just want to send a congratulations on this celebration and this big milestone and this exciting time. And as you guys celebrate today, though, it is important to reflect on the past and acknowledge some of the harms that have been done to Indigenous people due to historical research practices, as well as different factors within health and how colonization continues to impact Indigenous people today. So as we celebrate this time, I just encourage everyone to reflect on that. And if you're not aware, I definitely encourage you to take some time to learn about the history because the history continues to impact communities today. So these practices often disregarded Indigenous knowledge systems, and they failed to respect their rights and their voices within their communities. And so the legacy of this harm has had lasting impacts on health outcomes and trust in health systems. So in order to move forward, we need to focus on accountability and actionable steps that can foster genuine reconciliation. It is not enough to simply acknowledge the past, but we must actively work together towards solutions that empower Indigenous communities and ensure their health and well-being are being prioritized. So while I can't provide all those actionable steps in such a short time, some things that individuals can consider, especially within health and research, and even more so within leadership positions, is to focus within meaningful engagement and to focus on cultural safety and not view it as a checkbox, but actually implementing accountability measures and looking at what you have as far as policies and how you can continue to advocate to advance and better those policies for better health outcomes. So again, congratulations on this milestone for everyone today, and thank you so much for having us here. Miigwech.
Thank you, Dakota. It's very special to have you here today and provide your remarks and to center our work for sure. We look forward to working together in the future. I'd like to now welcome our President and CEO, Dr. Frank Martino, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Tiziana and Miigwech, Dakota, for opening the day. And I must say it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here today at our launch of the Research Institute. And I really do want to thank you for the continuing education, which I think will allow us to continue on this journey of meaningful reconciliation. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and it's an exciting week here at Osler, and I'm pleased to see so many of you joining us as we launch the Osler Research Institute for Health Innovation. Fondly known to some of us as ORIHI. That's the acronym. And also the beginning of Celebrate Research Week 2024. Today really is a pivotal moment for the Osler Research Institute for Health Innovation and for all of us at Osler and for our community. And as President and CEO, I can't tell you how proud I am. Osler's new 2024-2029 strategic plan, Going Beyond for Our People and Communities, charts an ambitious course for what I believe will be the most historic chapter yet for our hospital and for the healthcare of those in our community and beyond. Research and academics is a key pillar of our new strategic plan. This includes a commitment to new research that translates into innovative approaches to care for our vibrant and diverse communities and the region that we serve. Today's launch of the Osler Research Institute for Health Innovation is an important step forward to achieving our vision of world-class healthcare inspired by our people and our communities. As a physician myself, I've been fortunate to be involved in many research projects, and I'm excited by the promise of elevating research and discovery, learning and innovation through this institute. I think of a young Frank Martino who was, believe it or not, a summer research student at the Hospital for Sick Children many, many years ago, working on an innovative fungus that caused a pneumonia, Pneumocystis carinii. Interestingly, became a very prominent part of the AIDS pandemic. Boy, that really dates me, doesn't it? And then I went on to Europe where I did my doctorate in tumor immunology. As one of Canada's largest hospitals, we have an incredible foundation of expertise led by a stellar group of researchers who will continue to push the boundaries of science and innovation and impact healthcare for generations to come. I know in a few minutes, you'll be hearing from one of Osler's research superstars, Dr. Parneet Cheema, Head of Cancer Research and Medical Director of our Cancer Health System. Dr. Cheema, as always, we look forward to hearing about your paradigm-shifting oncology research, your dedication to improving patient care and patient outcomes, continuing to inspire all of us. Thank you for being part of this morning's ceremony. Today, as we mark the start of Research Week 2024, it's a remarkable and diverse roster of events that you'll be having an opportunity to enjoy. They include thought-provoking panels, art installations, and some of them are here along the wall of our atrium, as well as keynote speakers, and get this, research at a research fair at City Hall. This week is not only a showcase for research excellence by Osler and our incredible partners, it also represents a catalyst for new opportunities, partnerships, and knowledge generation. Congratulations and thank you, Tiziana, Patty Rempel, and your entire team for curating this incredible week. And thank you to all of you for participating. And I encourage you to do so. It will be an exciting week. As we celebrate research and its impacts on innovation, technology, and our community's healthcare, I'd like to recognize one of our most important partners. At Osler, we've had an incredible partnership with the City of Brampton, a key supporter for Celebrate Research Week. City Hall's commitment to our community's health and well-being comes right from the top. Mayor Patrick Brown is truly a tireless champion for Brampton's healthcare and a great friend of Osler. Patrick, thank you for making time in your busy schedule to join us today to launch the Osler Research Institute for Health Innovation and the start of Celebrate Research Week. We're honored that Brampton City Council proclaimed November 18 to 22 as Celebrate Research Week. And before we drop the Research Institute banner, I'd like to ask you, Mayor Brown, to share the proclamation along with some remarks about the significance of research in Brampton. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Mayor Patrick Brown to the podium.
Well, thank you, Dr. Martino. Dr. Martino spoke about a young Dr. Frank Martino. I think he's been secretly doing some anti-aging research because he doesn't seem to age since I've known him. Exciting to have the launch of this institute. I understand that there's been over 500 projects in the last 10 years, research projects with Osler. And what an exciting time to see more momentum put into this. With the establishment of a med school, which will be opening its doors in September, obviously the advocacy for a regional cancer center, with the second hospital being built. I don't think we've ever seen a chapter in Brampton's healthcare history as exciting as what we're seeing right now, with so many projects that have massive magnitude and impact for our community. So Dr. Martino, thank you for shepherding those projects. And to say on the research front, I think when you turn the pages of history books, they talk about finds, about research. I think every generation has the goal to leave the next generation better off. Just last month at City Hall, we had the flag raising for Rotary's and polio campaign, and made me think of my late grandfather. How he talked about a lot of kids that he grew up had polio. Scientific research, medical research changes lives. It leaves the next generation better off. And the work that Osler is embarking upon, I can't wait to hear about the results, about how it is a gift to society, the work you do. And talk about meaningful work. All those here involved in research, the fact that you could change lives, what a rewarding impact you have. And so the city of Brampton was proud to have this proclamation issued to celebrate Research Week. The city of Brampton is committed to fostering innovation, advancing research, and promoting community health. The launch of the Osler Research Institute for Health Innovation marks a significant milestone in our city's pursuit of excellence in healthcare research and innovation. The establishment of the new TMU Medical School further solidifies Brampton's position as a hub for medical education and research. The growing numbers within our innovation community highlight the vibrant spirit of collaboration and progress within our city. Research plays a vital role in driving positive change and improving the quality of life for our residents. It is fitting to recognize and celebrate the achievements and contributions of our local research community. I, Mayor Brown, hereby declare, on behalf of Brampton City Council, November 18th to 22nd as Celebrate Research Week in the city of Brampton. It is my honor to present this proclamation to Dr. Martino and the team here, and just to say the city of Brampton is so excited to be champions and supporters of this initiative of Osler, and keep up the amazing work. Yes, move behind the podium.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. Having the recognition and support of our city is a true testament to the innovation happening in our region. Today, I'm also happy to introduce to you our new strategic plan for Osler Research Institute for Health Innovation. This plan marks a bold and exciting new chapter for research at Osler, guiding our path forward for the next 5 years. Over the past year, we've engaged over 3,700 partners, from patients and healthcare professionals to researchers and community members, to help shape this strategy. Their insights have been invaluable, and we've listened closely to ensure the plans are aligned with the needs of our community, the healthcare system, and the rapidly evolving world of research. We have also engaged our community-based research advisory committee. Some of them are here today. Let me share with you some of the key components of our strategy. At the heart of what we do is our purpose, transforming discoveries into practice for better health. This continues to be the driving force behind our work at Osler, where we bridge the gap between scientific discoveries and real-world healthcare solutions. For over a decade, we've been focused on applied research, turning innovations into treatments, practices, and technologies that directly benefit patients. Our strategic pillars are built around these three areas: personalized health, population health, and health systems. These areas represent where we're focusing our efforts to improve health outcomes on an individual level, across populations, and within the healthcare system itself. You may notice that Celebrate Research Week was designed to demonstrate work that is already happening here within our walls and with our community members. So you can learn more about this week by participating in our full agenda. We will continue to work to build these pillars and to strengthen the partnerships we have developed as we continue to grow. The research strategic plan also identifies 5 priorities that guide us as we strive for excellence in research. People and culture. As you know, we have diverse ideas. Collaboration and continuous learning are essential for impactful research. Our people are our strength. Collaborations and community. Our research must reflect the people that live in it. And so we are creating our priorities for our communities, and we aim to involve them in every step of the way. Knowledge and sharing translation. We must communicate our findings and ensure they are applied in practice with unique activities to maximize their impact, and we will measure this in ways that are important to our community. And our 5th area is sustainable funding. Ensuring that we have continuous diverse funding streams is crucial for sustaining our research. We are actively engaging in partnerships so that we can make this happen. Research and service infrastructure. To be able to do this work and to ensure that our researchers have the right support to do and conduct research unencumbered, we want to make sure that we build those centralized services. Over the past decade, ORIHI has contributed to the scientific community in remarkable ways. We know that ORIHI is not just a research institute. It is a vibrant, growing community that has produced groundbreaking work. Today, as we look to the future and we are excited about the potential that lies ahead, this bold new path for research builds on the strength of our team, the collaboration of our partners, and the support of our communities. I know that together we will continue to grow and make a difference and keep changing lives for the better. I'd like to ask Dr. Martino to come up to the stage, please, as well as our 2 community-based advisory committee members. Will reveal the new banner, our Osler Research Institute for Health Innovation. It stands here as a symbol of our commitment to pushing the boundaries of research and innovation. It's with gratitude and excitement that we look to the future. Mark and Karnajot, please unveil the new banner, a symbol of our dedication to research and innovation. Okay, thanks for being here to witness this moment. And now it's my honor to welcome Dr. Parneet Cheema to the stage. Dr. Cheema is Osler's Medical Director of Cancer Care and Head of Cancer Research, where her leadership has been instrumental in establishing groundbreaking programs like the Osler Cancer Immunotherapy Program. She is a recognized expert in lung cancer, precision medicine, and immunotherapy. Dr. Cheema has driven Osler to the international stage of oncology research, allowing us to offer patients access to cutting-edge treatments through global clinical trials and advanced genomic technologies. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Parneet Cheema.
Thank you. It's quite amazing to be here today. It's been years that we've been talking about this day, and here it is. So I want to thank Dr. Martino, Tiziana, and Patty for inviting me to give the keynote talk today. So I'm going to be talking about cutting edge research in cancer care. And although we're launching the Research Institute today, by no means is it a start of research in cancer research at Osler. We've been doing this for years, and I'm going to share a little bit with you. So the next slide. So why does cancer actually why does cancer research actually matter? That's the big question. Why are we here today? Why are we doing this? So let's take a case. Oncologists love cases. So we have a 49-year-old father, previously healthy, diagnosed with incurable stage 4 cancer. His cancer was treated with standard of care treatments that worked initially, but what happens with unfortunately incurable cancers is they work initially, then stop working, and they become resistant to the treatment. So the standard treatment would have been, the survival of this patient would have been less than a year. And so the average time is less than a year. One of the key focuses is that cancer doesn't have the luxury of time. So that's where cancer research comes in. Next slide. And next slide. So keeping that theme in mind, that cancer doesn't have the luxury of time, one of the innovations dates back even till 2012 when Dr. Kashif Ershad, the chief of thoracic surgery, as well as Dr. Mark Ossip, led the way in terms of implementing the first, outside of a clinical trial, lung cancer screening program based on previous research. And more recently, we've obtained a grant from the Lung Ambition Alliance of $300,000 to study these outcomes. This is one of the largest real-world evidence pieces looking at the impact of lung cancer screening. And we detected 4% cancer detection rates. And these are screening. Screening works. It saved lives. Next slide. And so what that shows is that in next year, we're going to be a funded site for screening for lung cancer, but that's 13 years because of the innovation of implementing that these lives were saved, 4% of those patients that were screened. So the key thing, the challenge with cancer care is that the science is effective therapies is rapidly outpacing the time that we can access these therapies. And it takes time to develop a drug. There's phases of development. They have to go through Health Canada, and then they have to get funded by the governments to actually be able to be put in patient care. That's years, 3 to 6 years. Sometimes the therapies may not get approved. And as I mentioned, cancer doesn't have the luxury of time. So in terms of what we're talking about in terms of research, we've been implementing since 2019, there was a big ramp up of clinical trials at Osler, and using this as a pipeline for innovative therapies, access to innovative therapies years before they're approved, patients can have access to them. And you can see that we've been steadily increasing this, and it's across disease sites. So blood cancers, breast cancer, lung cancer, and we're expanding that. And what I want to highlight in the years from 2020 to 2022 is the COVID pandemic. And as you can see, we steadily increased it during that time. And that was Osler's commitment to research, understanding that these are life-saving therapies, that we continued our research program where many of the centers across Canada were actually closing them down. Next slide. So what we're doing in terms of research is actually practice-changing research here at Osler. The trials that we do are published in high-impact journals. So you may have heard of New England Journal of Medicine. It is the best of the best types of journals because it actually changes practice. How do we actually treat cancer? Depends on a lot of these publications. And we have numerous publications there and many other oncology high-impact journals. There's large international congresses where 50,000 oncologists meet every year, and we generally have posters or presentations of the work to change practice in oncology on how we approach care. Next slide. Now, one of the key things that what we're known for and what we've really invested in is the change of precision medicine and oncology care. So you may have heard of traditional medicines for oncology, which still remain today and are the foundation of care. Surgery for cancer, radiation for cancer, and chemotherapy, which still has a place. But there's also different ways of treating cancer, and we recognize that. And that's by identifying different genes within a tumor. How can we leverage that everybody's cancer is different? They're going to respond to different treatments. So using the immune system, something called immunotherapy, we launched the immunotherapy program to harness using the use of immunotherapy effectively and safely. And that's been translated all throughout Canada at many centers and replicating what we do. But one of the key things is that if we harness the genes within a tumor, we can identify the key and unlock that key. And so giving specific matched targeted therapies to the specific genome. And this work is really, we are globally known for this. And this is work led by Dr. Brandon Sheffield, a molecular pathologist, director of molecular pathology, where we had a scenario where we were doing the testing, but we had to send it out of the hospital, and it was taking 4 to 6 weeks. Patients did not have the answers to how to treat this cancer. So we said, let's bring this in-house, but not let's bring it in-house, let's do it better. Now that we're doing it, what can we do innovatively to make it better? So as I mentioned, cancer does not have the luxury of time. We need to know this information right away as oncologists, how to treat a patient. So we have the world record in terms of turnaround times for this next generation sequencing. We call it ultra fast or point of care. We've coined this here at Osler, and it's within 3 days we can determine how to best treat a patient. The next step now is something called liquid biopsy. So this is now taking somebody's blood and saying, okay, first of all, do you have a cancer? The second thing is, what's driving your cancer? We can get that information from a simple blood test. And the turnaround times, again, are what we call ultra fast point of care. So I want to just highlight one clip that was in the news media recently, which will highlight some of that innovation quite nicely. So we can play the clip. Okay, we can come back to it when it's ready. Okay, so in terms of that what I wanted to show
is revolutionizing cancer care.
In a liquid biopsy,
That's a machine at Brampton Civic Hospital completing its scans on a set of samples. It's this unit that has allowed William Osler Health System to be the first in the country to offer in-house liquid biopsies, something Dr. Brandon Sheffield says is revolutionizing cancer care.
in a liquid biopsy, we take a tube of blood collected in any setting, and we can get the same information just from that tube of blood as we would otherwise get from a tissue biopsy.
Thank you.
Liquid biopsies themselves are not new, but it's the turnaround time and cost that makes this game-changing
Okay,
for the
we can stop
hospital's
that.
cancer patients. In Canada,
I just wanted to highlight a little bit about Dr. Sheffield explains it so nicely. So in terms of the fact that we have a culture of innovation, and really by having this research institute, that's embedding that into the culture of Osler. And what that leads to is also early adoption of innovative therapies. So this is Dr. Phil Curvilla, the chief of hematology and oncologist, with his patient, Anthony Turner, with the first patient that was treated with a novel therapy called bispecific T-cell engagers, BiTE therapy. And we were the first community hospital in the country to offer this. So in fact, this is the first patient in the country to be treated with that outside of a community center. By doing that, we develop protocols and have clinical trials now with these innovative therapies to implement. Next slide. And what that also brings in terms of Osler's Research Institute is collaborations. This was a collaboration that we just launched recently with Princess Margaret Cancer Care Network, and establishing collaborations between research, sharing innovations, and it's bilateral direction. So it's both ways that we're going to share our knowledge and they're going to share their knowledge, and we're going to team up to create innovative solutions for cancer care. Next slide. Another thing is actually harboring is focusing on the research diversity, the diversity of our patient population. One of the key aspects of oncology care is something called real world evidence. This is large population based information to say, what are these therapies going to do in the real world? So in clinical trials, generally there's a checklist, patients need to be quite fit. But when they go out into the real world, when patients have comorbidities, they may not be as fit, maybe a little bit older, but also globally, we have the enrichment of our population, and that's one of our strengths. So we do a lot of real world evidence as well. So let's go back to our patient case. So why are we doing this? Going back to that key theme. 49-year-old father, previously healthy, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, less than a year with standard therapies. He was enrolled in a clinical trial that was biomarker directed based on his genes. We found a trial for him, and he's been on therapy for over 2.5 years. So this is all life gained outside of what he would have had with standard therapies. And this is his testimonial. The Hudson trial at William Osler has allowed me to continue a quality of life that I didn't believe would be possible when I first started. And the staff make sure that the experience at hospital is smooth and minimal stress. My family and I are grateful. And next slide. In terms of the publication of this was recently published, the efficacy of this regimen. But as you can see, this is a phase 2 trial. It's going to have to go through phase 3, Health Canada approval, go through funding approvals, which is years down the road. And we are able to access this for our patients today to give them that extra 2.5 years of life and ongoing. So cutting edge research in cancer care is actually happening today, but the Research Institute is a new milestone that will take us to the next level. Osler is a leader in precision medicine with matched targeted therapies. In addition, we have leveraged our strength and our diversity of our population. Cancer does not have the luxury to wait. It doesn't have the luxury to wait for innovative therapies to be approved, to wait for genomic testing, to wait to be detected later at a later stage, or to wait to refer to outside of our community where they have to wait to be seen by other oncologists, drive outside of our community. We can offer this care close to home, and now we are doing it, and we can do it better. And cancer research saves lives. That's why we're doing it. It's been embedded in the Osler oncology program. It's really a day in life of the oncologist and all the amazing staff in the research program that have contributed to this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cheema. Just wait, we have questions and answers. So the research you and your team are leading at oncology is very inspiring and incredibly impactful. It changes people's lives. I'm Patty Rempel. I'm the Director of Clinical Research here at Osler. It is truly an honor to be here to witness the launch of the Institute after many years in the making. And it's truly a transformational moment for Osler. We have time for a couple of questions from the audience, if anyone is brave enough. Not sure if we have a microphone, if anyone has any questions. Janice has a microphone if anyone has a question, or else I have one from that's already come in. So Dr. Cheema, as you mentioned, Osler was the first hospital in Canada to introduce liquid biopsies for cancer patients. Could you tell us a little bit more about the impact this innovation has had on our patient care at Osler?
Thank you for the question. So liquid biopsy, the fact that we can take a tube of blood and be able to analyze the biomarkers, if patients have a diagnosis of cancer and say, for example, that they'd have to get that diagnosis through a biopsy, and maybe we don't have enough tissue to make the diagnosis or go look at the biomarkers, we'd have to go in and put another needle in and give some anesthetic and book the patient in to have a bed to be monitored. So a lot of procedures and a lot of stress on the patient to actually go through another biopsy. So liquid biopsy is another means. By doing a blood test, we can identify some of the biomarkers without going through that procedure. But sometimes even we need to know the answers today. So if we have someone that may need radiation based on biomarkers, we may forego radiation if we find out that the genes are eligible for pills, for example. So it really defines on how we can manage patients quickly. And so it's another tool. It's not the only tool, but it's an extra tool that we can use in our armamentarium to be able to diagnose and treat patients quickly and effectively.
Thank you so much. So thank you everyone for being here. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Lisa Butzenlechner, Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of Austria.
Thank you so much. Thank you to President and CEO Martino and to Vice President Rivera for having me here, honorable guests. It's really a pleasure for me to be here in Brampton representing Austria. at this opening ceremony. I'm the director of the Austrian Cultural Forum here in Canada, and the forum serves as a focal point to promote Austrian culture and art in Canada. And this is why I am here, because we have the honor to today witness the exhibition, the work of an Austrian-based artist. Her name is Daniela Brill-Estrada. She was chosen to exhibit her art here in this exhibition you can visit during the entire week. And Daniela Brill-Estrada is an artist and researcher from Bogota, living and researching in Austria. Her creative process is deeply inspired by the origin of life research, astrobiology, and the trajectories of different chemical elements. Today and during the next week, you have the possibility to explore her work, Our Celestial Bodies. It researches into the cosmic origin of living matter, and it was developed together with the Viennese Natural History Museum, and it has toured the world. It's already the fourth continent that it has been displayed, with its North America premiere here in Brampton today. If this caught your attention, I invite you to visit the Science Art exhibition, especially Daniela's piece, and also to attend the artist talk with her at 2:30 p.m., which is about why science needs art. Thank you so much for inviting me and for showing Austrian art here in Brampton. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'd like to extend our deepest gratitude to everyone here today who made the celebration possible. To our special guests, thank you for your presence and support. I know the mayor has left, but I will say a special thank you to Mayor Patrick Brown for his continued partnership and commitment. To Frank, Tiziana, and all the executive team members here today, thank you. And all of you here today who have been part of the journey with us. As we conclude this portion of the event and get on with the Celebrate Research Week, I'd like to invite everyone to join us at the Research Open House in the BCH Auditorium. There's stickers that will show you the way around. And please stay for the afternoon series events. Lisa just mentioned the artist talk and presentations from the Sheridan and our NAO. So thank you so much for being here. And I'd just like to special shout out to Sofia Ramirez at the back there, who's put this all together. Thanks again and have a great day.